Welcome to another episode of Ignoring My GPS in Thailand. This series could also be called Making Terrible, Stupid Decisions in Thailand. I set a goal to practice riding off-road at least a little bit every single day. I just found a place on Google Maps that looks like it might be promising and it's not too far from here. So I'm gonna go and see if we can get some practice in. Found this nice little clearing up on this big rock. Got a little lost, not exactly sure where I am. The city's back that way somewhere, I'm pretty sure. This would be a great little spot for a picnic. I wish I had a snack with me. It's at this point that things start to go wrong. You can't really tell from the video, but I start to go up a slightly rocky incline. Not that big of a deal, but I'm a very beginner rider, so I make the big mistake of slowing down, which causes me to lose all of my momentum. So now I'm fighting to get up a rocky incline from a stopped position. I start to rev the engine a lot, not realizing how bad that is, and I don't yet realize that I'm overheating my engine. I think what I'm going to do, rather than sit here and contemplate my bad decisions, is attempt to spin the bike around and coast down, hopefully cooling it off, and maybe also finding another route back. We'll see. Essentially what I'm trying to do here is lean the bike onto the side stand and then pivot the bike on the stand and turn it all the way around. Holy shit, it worked. That was actually really easy. Oh man. All right, now let's see if we can coast out of here and get back to the real world. The temperature light has gone off, so let's try to start the bike and see what happens. Huh. Looks like we're gonna walk a little bit. What I'm hoping is I'll find another downhill spot that I can coast down. I see buildings in that direction, but I don't want to keep going too far downhill because I'm worried that if I do and I end up not being where I think I am, then I won't be able to start the bike to get it back up. I can promise you this, I am not just doing this for the camera. I'm not really sure how to get out of here. My maps aren't loading. I have my compass, and I think I know the general direction I need to go in. There's roads and civilization in every direction. It's just that I'm not really sure how to get to those main roads from where I am, especially in a way that doesn't make me do steep, rocky climbs and overheat the bike again. At least this time I brought water. Okay, the bike starts, that's a good sign. I'm going to keep trying to coast and letting it cool down. It's kind of peaceful just coasting along with the bike in neutral. I'm gonna be honest with you, I kind of feel like I'm gonna pass out. Really hot. Not loving it. This doesn't look familiar, but hopefully that's a good thing. This is why we can't have nice things. I did eventually make it out of that area, but it was just the beginning of my problems. I was able to get the bike to a coffee shop / bar, and that's where we pick back up here. The situation went from bad to worse. I thought that it was okay to ride. I thought it had cooled down enough, so I started riding. Not long after, started to lose compression. Now I have to get it towed to a service shop, and hopefully it's not too bad. I don't really drink, but I'm gonna have a beer. I am back in my hotel room. The bike is still over by the coffee shop that I left it at. The shop is closed tomorrow, so I have to wait until the day after to get it towed there. And then we'll see what the damage is, both physically and financially. Here's the current situation. I've called a couple different tow truck companies, and they all want insane amounts of money for this tow. Some of them are wanting to charge me almost as much as my friend is paying to have his bike brought down from Chiang Mai, which is like 1,000 kilometers. I'm only trying to bring my bike about 3 kilometers, so this is insane. I'm obviously not gonna pay that much money for it. That being said, I don't really know what my other options are. I asked my scooter driver this morning if he would help me push it using his scooter, but he said it was too far and too heavy, and I totally get that, I totally understand. That essentially means that my only other option is to literally just push it down the road. That was one of the wildest experiences of my life. As I was pushing the bike, this guy on a scooter, one of the Grab scooters, he pulled up and we talked a little bit, and I explained to him what I was trying to do. So what he did was he put his foot on my rear passenger foot peg and then pushed me the entire way here, which was crazy. What really blew my mind is that when I got here, I tried to give him money and he refused. I mean refused, like he would not take this money from me. And man, just the kindness, like it's literally giving me chills. I feel like I'm gonna cry. It's so nice. I'm at the shop now. I explained to them what's happening, what the symptoms are, and they're gonna take a look. They're swapping out the oil and trying to diagnose the problem. I just got back from the motorcycle shop. They pretty much confirmed my fears, although they did say that they don't think it was necessarily only caused by overheating yesterday. What they said was that there was probably already an issue before I even got the bike. The overheating exacerbated that problem. That's a pretty big bummer. Regardless of all that, they said that I don't need to get it fixed right away, but that to really fix the problem, I have to replace part of the engine. So that's a pretty big bummer. They also said that just to order the part, it's going to take at least a month. Some really disappointing news here. Obviously, but I suppose it could be worse. We're on day 3 or 4 or something of this situation with this bike now, and I just went to the shop to ask them some more details on their diagnosis of the problem with the bike. What they told me was they didn't actually open the engine to check anything, they just listened to it and made their diagnosis off of that. Based off of that and some other stuff they said when I talked to them, I decided that I'm going to take it to a different shop, get a second opinion, get them to actually open the bike to diagnose the problem, and hopefully get it figured out and solved quickly. This shop immediately had a better vibe than the previous shop. The mechanic team seemed way more professional and experienced. It wasn't that the previous shop seemed terrible, but the team at this one just gave me the impression that they see the value in really building a positive relationship with long-term customers. The mechanic opened up the bike and took a look inside, and after a while he concluded that he disagreed with the previous assessment, which, just to remind you, was made only by listening to the bike. It did turn out that my spark plug needed to be replaced, but now the bike seems to be running great.